So, you want to improve your telephone customer experience. You want to improve the way you connect with customers, your friendliness, your tone, your empathy. Well, you're in the right place because in this video, I am sharing with you my 7-step call flow strategy. These are the 7 steps that I share with all of my contact center clients who want to improve the telephone customer experience. Open with a lead in. A good lead in has 4 steps. 1. Offer a welcome, such as good morning. 2. Identify your company or department name. 3. Give the customer your name. And 4. Offer to help. Together, it sounds like, good morning, customer care. This is Penny. How may I help you today? And of course, that's with a smile in your voice. Acknowledge your customer's concern. Anytime your customer expresses an emotion, and that might be frustration, fear, impatience, they may be outright angry. Anytime your customer expresses an emotion, I want you to recognize that. I want you to acknowledge what you're hearing, what you're picking up, and I want you to speak to that. We want to speak to the emotions so that the customer doesn't think we're hiding behind any screen or that we have any fear. You come across more confident and assertive when you directly, head on, address emotions. Here's how you can acknowledge your customer's concern. I can understand how frustrating it is when. I cannot imagine how upsetting it is too. I know how confusing it must be when. Yield to callers. Don't interrupt and don't overtalk. Yielding to customers is pretty much the same as yielding to other vehicles in traffic. It is to give the customer right of way. If you are a fast talker, like I tend to be in a lot of situations, you are going to really appreciate this step. When you yield, if you're a fast talker, it's going to slow you down. If you have a tendency to interrupt or overtalk, this is going to remove that. Here's how you yield to your callers. Allow customers to finish sentences. If you accidentally interrupt a caller, apologize. Even when you know within a second or two that the call will need to be transferred, allow the caller to finish their statement before making the transfer. When you have to ask your customer lots of questions, we're at risk of sounding like we are interviewing the customer with our back-to-back questions. Or worse, we can sound like we are interrogating the customer. When I managed a call center, I listened to calls one afternoon. I listened to how my employees handled routine interactions. And in one very common scenario, I counted 7. 7 questions that my employees asked. And they were relevant. I mean, they needed to ask those questions. But the way they asked those questions, it did sound kind of like an interview and many times like an interrogation. Here's the way around that. If you have to ask your customer several questions, several being 3 or more, what I want you to do is bridge Bridge into questioning. When you build a bridge before you ask the questions, you remove any feelings of being interrogated. You can bridge into questions this way. To determine what happened, I will need to ask you some questions. Do you mind if I ask some questions so we can figure out what has happened? So I can assist you, may I ask you a few questions? Speak in complete sentences. I want you to be friendly and conversational, making sure to not speak in little short bites, not little statements that are incomplete sentences. I want you to speak in complete sentences. It really makes a big difference in your perception, how customers perceive you. When you speak in complete sentences, you sound warmer and friendlier. May I have your zip code, please? Not zip code. Can I get your last name? Not name. Ask, is there anything else? Is there anything else I can help you with today? End with a fond farewell and include some form of thanks. Lauren, thanks so much for calling us today. I've enjoyed talking with you, Teresita. Well, if there's nothing else, all that's left is for me to wish you a great afternoon. Below for you, I have each of the 7 steps of my call flow strategy, and I have prompts for you to do the work to apply the 7 steps, focusing on what you intend to improve. So, before you go on to the next thing, I want you to take the time to work on how you will apply your new 7 steps to improving the telephone experience.